night. You usually have to sit on a saddle for your birthday. What? And that's when I learned you never dine and dash, because it's a bad thing to do. It was a group of middle-aged guys.
Tapas.
Tapas. Tapas to you. What?
It's all right. Did you win it by mistake?
So hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Layla. And let me ask you a little question. Have you ever been to a restaurant before? Let me ask you a better question. Have you ever worked at a restaurant before? Today we are going to be exploring a brand new subreddit called Tales from Your Server, which is pretty much what it sounds like. It's stories from people who have worked in the service industry. It's been a little bit since we've explored any new subreddits, so I thought this would be fun for everyone. Yeah, so I've pulled together quite a collection of stories for us to read tonight, and they will all be linked down below. So I can't believe this is our first upload of June already. It's crazy how fast this year is going. It's halfway over. Yeah, so everyone, happy June. I hope you're staying cool. Everyone just get comfortable, settle in, grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's dive right in with our first post. So this comes from Sour Mantilla. A husband ended his marriage at my table. This happened back in 2020, but I still think about it more often than I probably should. It is one of those nights that stuck with me. I was working as a server at a quiet bistro in a small coastal town. That sounds sick as hell. It was midweek dinner shift, not too busy. A couple in their early 30s came in, and they seemed genuinely excited to be out together. The woman mentioned that it was their first proper evening out since their toddler had started preschool. She looked really happy to have a reason to dress up and enjoy some time to herself. They ordered a bottle of wine, shared an appetizer, and even laughed a bit at the beginning. What am I doing? It felt like one of those sweet, calm nights when everything seems to be going well. But as the evening progressed, their energy changed. The conversation became quieter. She started checking her phone more often. He looked like he was waiting for something. By the time I brought out their entrees, the tension was undeniable. That was when I noticed the pale blue envelope on the table. It was placed next to his plate, and his wedding ring was resting on top of it. She was not eating anymore. She just sat there, eyes red, tears quietly running down her cheeks. He told me he would take his meal to go and ask for separate checks. He paid and left shortly after. That's kinda cold. I did not know what to do except bring her tissues and try to be as kind as possible. She told me in a broken voice that he had been having an affair since she was pregnant. That night, he told her he was leaving to start a new life with the other woman and their child. The envelope contained divorce papers she had no idea was coming. My manager comped her meal and called a car to take her home. She thanked me softly and walked out, still in shock. I never saw her again, but I think about her often. I wonder how she is and her child are doing now. I hope she found some peace, some strength, and a life better than the one that was taken from her at that table. Could you even imagine being the server? I can't imagine being the server that night. Like, the thing is, it was really great how the restaurant reacted. I think it was great they comped her meal. The server sounds like such a sweet person, but I cannot imagine being the server and witnessing that. Like, that has got to be... What's the word I'm looking for? Because it's not cringe when you experience something... It's not secondhand embarrassment. I guess it's like secondhand sadness, in a way. Like, seeing someone do that to someone else. We don't know their story and we don't know their situation in full, but just imagine witnessing that and that's your table and you're at work and you have to deal with that. I hope this woman's doing way better wherever she is, and I think the way the waiter and the manager and the staff in general reacted was actually super great. It was really nice that people were looking out for her that night. And that's so sad. That sucks so much. I can't even imagine that. Anyways, on to the next one. This next one comes from Kylwm. K-Y-L-W-M. W-M. I can talk. Yes, my girlfriend is there with another man. Please let her know that her boyfriend paid the tab. What's with all the cheating? Sharing with permission from a friend who doesn't use Reddit. My friend is a manager at a popular tapas spot. Tapas? Tapas? What does that mean?
Tapas.
Tapas. Tapas to you. What? My friend is a manager at a popular tapas spot. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I've genuinely never heard this word until now. One night, she received a call from a man whose girlfriend was currently dining in, asking to send a bottle of his girlfriend's favorite wine to her table and to pay her tab over the phone. He made a point to make sure that the server knew it was from him, her boyfriend. Turns out she was on a date with another man and he knew. The server knew, and told them anyway that her boyfriend paid their tab and sent the bottle of wine. Apparently, their facial expressions and abrupt exit was priceless. Gosh, I wish this could have happened when I worked. The Karma All servers would love to watch. And the actual server is Green Thought. LOL, OP, this was me. I was the server! Message me and I can tell you what restaurant it was. That's crazy. Although, you know, I feel like if I found out my partner was cheating on me, sending them wine, I'm not gonna pay for that. I get it's a great setup, but I would never want to pay for someone's wine who was cheating on me.
Stop cheating on your partners, you freaks.
Anyways, on to the next one. This one comes from Could Be Freaking Worse. I'm sorry, I have to censor your username. That's just how it works. Screamed at for saving someone's life. I'm a full-time student getting my PhD at age 30, and I'm working full-time as a server. Wow, you're busy. I've been working at this Greek bistro for the greatest people for almost 15 years now. I started bussing at 16, and I'm now a manager. So a few months ago, it's around 6, and one of our regulars, I'll call him Andy, comes in. Andy works at a mattress store and always comes in for lunch. He's an awesome guy, and he's a big guy. He's close to 400 pounds. I feel like we're mentioning this because it's a necessary detail in case anyone's like,
Nope.
Anyway, Andy shows up after work with a woman. She's maybe a good 10 or so years older than him. It's obvious they're on a date. So we make a fuss over him, the owner's wife gets him our best table, and we bring them a complimentary glass of champagne. These restaurants are so nice. He orders our platter of meat, she orders a vegetarian platter. They're eating, and I hear her gasp. Andy's face is blue and his hands are over his throat. So I go over and I give him the Heimlich while the owner calls 911. I'm giving him back blows when his date whacks me with her purse. You're hurting him! I took first aid! That's not right! She's screaming in my face. He's still choking. The owner pulls her away from me. She's screaming still. Andy's piece of steak goes flying. He's able to breathe. The paramedics are there, and she's telling them I hurt him. The paramedics tell her I saved his life. If he survived, he must have done something right. Anyway, they end up taking Andy in because he was wheezing a bit. She throws me a dirty look and follows them out. 2 days later, Andy comes in for lunch with his coworker. He thanks me over and over. Then he tells me that was the first and last date with that woman. He brought his newest girlfriend in yesterday. She loved the restaurant, and best of all, she's nice. If she took first aid and knows how to do it so well, why the frig didn't she do it instead of standing to watch? You're awesome though, OP. Well done. It's scary in that situation. Also, if she took first aid, she would know that CPR often breaks a rib, or the many other ways it could hurt him. It's not a gentle process. Yeah, but this wasn't CPR. Andy got game though. 400 pounds fat or bodybuilder, 400 pounds of dog. Why didn't we need to mention this guy's weight? Good for you, Andy. Getting all the women? What would you do though if your date started choking? Would you panic? Would you freeze? Would you try and help him out? We all like to think we would, but sometimes we freeze in the moment of action. Anyways, on to the next one. So this comes from Rose Quartz Surfboard Tea. Table tried to dine and dash, but I came out and did their birthday shout out right in time. Ooh, tea. My manager was a server on the floor tonight and had a large group that swallowed 2 of our tables. They brought their own cake and own ice cream, and we kept it cool for them in our fridge. They sent her to retrieve it, and she does. I grab our saddle and dragged it over, and they were suddenly all standing up. Some people had left. It was definitely sus, but whatevs. Doesn't matter. The show must go on. Where was I? I get distracted myself. Of course, birthday person doesn't want to sit on the saddle, so I do it, and do the birthday song and dance. I'm very interested in what the saddle means, because there's no context. You usually have to sit on a saddle for your birthday. What? Call him out by name, and just draw a large amount of attention to him. It was awkward, of course. They still try to leave, and my manager luckily notices and gives the mom her check and doesn't leave her side. Not only were they using the cake and ice cream as a diversion to escape, but the mother was in on it. She tried to stall her payment, hoping my manager would get busy and leave her with the bill, as if we were not all aware of their intent by now. Safe to say, we will probably not be seeing them again. I've never understood the concept of dining and dashing, and before you explain it for me, I get it. But, I don't get it. I know it's just another way to rob people and stick it to the man or whatever, but it's one of the lowest things I think you can do because a lot of restaurants are locally owned. And even if you're part of a chain, there's still someone who owns that chain, so you're just a terrible person if you dine and dash. I also didn't know what that was until I watched that 70s show when they tried to dine and dash. And that's when I learned you never dine and dash, because it's a bad thing to do. Anyways, on to the next one. So this comes from Road Ode Load. That's a great username. Guy harasses ex-girlfriend at the bar until her boyfriend shows up. Whew, and this is a long one. Oh, what a satisfying Friday I had. I work in a sports bar and a grill in a reasonably small town. We're a popular hangout for the local college kids as one of the only spots with a full bar and some decent grub. I love this because, contrary to popular belief, young people are usually the better tippers and just all around more pleasant to their servers than the older crowd. I don't know if it's because they've worked service jobs more recently, or if they were just raised better, but it's noticeable and I really enjoy serving most of them. One drawback, though, is they're usually more dramatic than the older crowd. How dare you? How dare you? Usually if my middle-aged patrons bump into someone they know, there's a quick hello and it's done. With these college kids, it's often either the best thing ever to spot your friends out and they get loud and excitable, or there's some sort of rift between the groups and they get loud and excitable. For example, we had a college-age couple that came in a bunch almost every weekend that then split up. I'd see the guy from time to time getting loaded with his buddies, but the girls stopped coming in altogether. I figured she only ever came because he was bringing her here. Friday, we were having ladies' night, and she comes in with a small group of girls. There were maybe 5 altogether. They sat in a booth and ordered some cheap drinks and kept to themselves. Girls' night. Fast forward half an hour, this guy and his buddies come in. Without realizing, they take seats at the bar directly adjacent to this girl and her booth. I didn't recognize them as the couple at first, but the guy spotted her, and let's just say, it became immediately clear who left who, despite what he said. He started in with all these passive-aggressive and loud comments to his pals about how glad he was he dropped that fat who was weighing him down. Yikes. Looking desperately over his shoulder, hoping she'd overhear him. She didn't, or if she did, she ignored him. He kept going with the insults for another moment or two before he got into some derogatory stuff about her breasts specifically. And the bartender told him he had to keep it down because he was bothering people. The night went on, and all the parties involved got more drunk. His a lot more than hers, but she and her friends ignored him. Eventually, they got up to dance, and he was quick to follow. Clearly, this guy has not moved on. I was lingering around bringing drinks to people and keeping tabs to be sure nothing escalated. This poor girl, he was really tearing into her. The especially psycho thing is he alternated between insulting her and begging her to take him back. I caught, "You fat, ugly... I never wanted to be with you in the first place. I was with all my exes while we were together, and you'll never do better than me, so you should take the chance while you have it. We can start over. I forgive you." From this pathetic guy in the same string of conversation. She kept blowing him off, and her friends who were taking notice kept breaking it up and relocating themselves. I was sick and away from having our bouncers bring him, but he seemed to cool off. That only lasted until she came to the bar, not anywhere near him, mind you, to get herself another drink. He starts saying all this stuff about, "You think anyone will ever want you like that? You can have me, or you can have nothing. And I don't even want you. You were the worst decision I ever made. I don't even know why I'm giving you this chance." And on until he's cut off by this, "What are you saying to my girl, bro?" Nice. Towering guy sat down, put his arm around her, and was all like, "Sorry I'm late, babe. Practice kept dragging. Can I help you, son?" He was 10 times more put together, better spoken, better dressed, way less sad or terrifying than the guy who'd been bothering her all night. The pathetic one was so drunk at this point that he didn't recognize he was outmatched and started to launch into this incoherent screaming of "she's a skank, whore, and you better not touch her 'cause she's mine." But no she ain't. The Lulu. To which the towering calm guy stood up and took his jacket off and said, without raising his voice, "Oh, so we have a problem?" The guy's friends noticed this situation and came to collect him at this point just before one of our staff could intervene. But this new guy followed him over to his friends. He got right in his face and said, "If you have a problem with her, you have a problem with me. So I think it's time to bounce." He just sounds... Listen, this guy is great, but he sounds like a Disney character. "If you have a problem with her, you have a problem with me. So I think it's time to bounce." Like, this is not a 90s sitcom. Drunk guy wasn't having any of it, but his friends were smarter, or at least more sober, and knew they didn't want trouble. Once they were gone, new guy went over to this girl and says, "Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Isaiah." Sorry to get all involved like that. I hope I didn't overstep. It's just, I could not listen to another second of that. Seriously, that got scary. That's why I went with the boyfriend thing instead of just saying, "Hey, you suck. Time to go home. I've got 3 sisters," and he set off all my alarm bells. I was wondering who'd bring a date to ladies' night. They never met. He was just a stranger who stepped in to protect her. They chatted a bit, and he walked her out. They were back here for a first date today. That's almost exactly how I met my husband. I don't go out much, but one of my friends convinced me to go to the bar with her a few years back. I'm not much for the crowd, and was just keeping to myself, but the freaking meth head with all of 3 teeth wouldn't leave me the hell alone. Saying no didn't work, and I didn't want to start a fight and get kicked out and ruin my friend's night, so I just kinda tried to avoid him as much as I could. The bouncer noticed and came up and put his arm around me and pretended to know me the next time meth guy tried bothering me. Me and the bouncer ended up talking. I took him home, and he never left, LOL. We had married 2.5 years. That's so sweet. What a sweet ending. And I wasn't making fun of him, by the way. I was just saying, he sounds like a Disney character. But hey, maybe we like those guys. Maybe we like the ones with a little cornball edge to them. Anyways, on to the next one. So this comes from Anonymous. Anonymous? I like your username, whatever it is. Hi. You're going to hate me. And they're almost never wrong. Sorry, we ordered too much food. Can you cancel the baked lobster roll that's already in the oven? Sure, we can cancel it, but it's very likely almost ready. Are you sure you don't want it? Maybe in a to-go box? No, we can't eat all that. Please cancel it. I approach the easy-to-anchor chef and tell him to cancel it.
What do you mean? It's already ready. Did you bring it in by mistake?
No, chef, they canceled it. They're too full. I'm sorry. Chef manages to resell it within 5 minutes. It's a popular dish. 15 minutes pass. I am bussing a table near the cancellation. Hi, excuse me. You're going to hate me. We decided we actually do want the baked lobster. You can bring it now, please. Sir, we are going to have to remake it. What? No, just bring the one we ordered. Sir, that was 15 minutes ago. We don't have it. Would you like to wait? Sure, we'll wait. Closing them out. Did we want any desserts? No thanks, we're full. Walks to exit, stops at dessert case, ogles, proceeds to look around and then lock eyes with me. I walked into the back, never to be seen again. Yeah, here's the thing. I feel like people don't seem to understand how, like, restaurants work. If you order something and you wait, like, a period of minutes, it's probably already being cooked. And then, if you're like, never mind, they're probably either gonna have to throw it away or do something else with it, give it to someone else, eat it themselves. I know a lot of waitstaff, will go in the back of the kitchen and eat the food that got canceled. So I don't know what people are expecting, like they can't just hold on to an item for 15 minutes, and they also can't cancel an order once it's been placed and put in, and like the whole process has begun to happen. These people are just so privileged and so annoying, and this is pretty much the average person you meet while in the service industry or retail. They will think things that are just so incorrect, it's almost painful, their worldview. Anyways, on to the next one. So this comes from deleted, unfortunately. I don't know how to give this credit for. Sit me with your hottest white server. Sit him with our only male server, a tall, black bodybuilder. It was a group of middle-aged guys. They're regulars, but they're annoying as hell, and they always ask for the hottest server. As a host, I usually just sit them with whoever. The last time they came in, I sat them with D, a really sweet black girl who's one of our best servers. They were furious. They never said anything to me or a manager, but they claimed everything was wrong. The food was too cold. The drinks were too flat. She was way too slow. She was rude. They left a 25-cent tip and left not long after. Boo! This time, they specified they wanted a hot, white server. I said, okay, and with a smile, I walked them over to their table. I specifically sat them with the only male server, a tall, black bodybuilder who towered over all of them. He is a really cool guy, but he can be slightly intimidating to people that don't know him just due to his stature. They never said a word. Too long didn't read. Bunch of pervs asked for a hot white girl, got a big black guy. That's crazy. Not only are they creepy, perverted, they're racist. How many things can you check off a list in one go? I've never understood, caring about who serve you. Unless they're slow or super unhygienic, why do we care about what they look like? Why do we care about what race or gender they are? In what way does this matter? Even remotely? I don't know. I'm just there to eat. Maybe people are there to objectify and ogle the staff. I can't relate to that. I've never ogled a person a day in my life. Ew. You got a 3 for 1, a 4 for 4. You got a 3 and 1. Pick a struggle, my guy. So we're gonna do one last one for the night. And this comes from unsupported device. A group of customers left me no tip tonight and told me why. I've been a server for various points throughout my life since I was 16, and I am 29 now. Usually I would serve or host as a part-time job, but currently my only job is being a server. I had 3 guys come in that looked about my age. When they sat down, I greeted them and then asked them how many shots they were going to be buying tonight. They were fairly loud and seemed in a good mood, and I said that mostly to be funny. The first couple of guys told me they didn't want shots, but they would be ordering beers. Then the last guy told me he would need a few shots if I was going to be his server. Vibe killer. Boo! I chuckled. I thought we were joking and went and got their drinks. They ordered their food, a few more beers, there weren't any major issues, and they said it would all be one check tonight. I went to pick up their credit card receipt and there was 0 in the tip line. Okay, maybe they'll leave cash, no big deal. But as I'm thanking them for coming in, one of the guys interrupts me. He tells me that I probably noticed he didn't tip me. I'm honestly kind of embarrassed to be having this conversation, and I was flustered, so I just replied with something like, oh, that's okay, have a nice night. He then proceeded to tell me, I didn't really feel like shelling out an extra $20 for you because, no offense, but you could step it up a bit. All the other waitresses in here are very cute and earn their tips. Try putting on more makeup or going to a gym. I'm just being honest with you. If a guy wanted to freak you, he'd tip you better. I was so mortified I didn't even say anything. I could feel my face turning red, while every guy at that table stared at me. Nobody said anything. I work very hard, and I take so much pride in my work. I try to look nice and put together every night because it can speak to how much pride you do take in it. I'm friendly and outgoing because I love working with people and I love my job. I wish I had said something back to him, but I just walked away instead. I've worked double shifts all week and closed every night. I've been stiffed a couple times almost every day this week, but I don't take it personal. And I try to still always hold my head up, but that really hurt. Edit! Thank you everyone for saying such lovely things. For what? For wee-wee? For what? I don't know what that means. I didn't think what he said holds any true merit, and I love and accept myself wholeheartedly. It's more so the fact that he said it at all. His entitlement, and to be reduced to whether or not I am effable to determine my worth. This happened at the tail end of my night. I was the only server on the floor, and the only other female on staff with me tonight was the bartender, who I've never really confided in or gotten along very well with. We're just co-workers. That's it. I also didn't tell my manager because my manager is a guy as well. He's mostly friendly, but honestly, my manager is creepy too. Lots of unwanted hugs and shoulder touching. Comments and questions asking me if I have a man or if I'd be willing to be a stepmom. You hearing this? I can't believe it. He has 4 kids with his ex-wife. I've talked to my manager's managers about his creep behavior, and it's gotten better, but I still wouldn't go to him with stuff like this. Ever. Like I said, it's been a long week. I work doubles every day, and I close every night. 2 of those nights I was the only server on for hours because so many other servers called out. I've been stiffed and treated like crap, and it broke my heart finally. I know I'm better than he is, and I'm doing just fine. It's just exhausting existing as a woman sometimes, and there's not enough places you get to just be. Thank you for letting me share and vent. Wow, he only tips women he's attracted to? So, how does he decide on how he tips waiters? Just nothing across the board? He doesn't tip anyone. He just comes up with a different rationalization for why it is his or her fault. Wow, that got really real at the end. Anything that deals with the public, I think, is just going to be a very demanding, cruel, hard position. So there's a lot that waitstaff go through, hosts, hostesses, waiters, bussers, cooks alike. There's always stories, and many horror stories, from these individuals who work in these industries. If there's a takeaway from any of this, it's that you should be treating these people who help you really well. Because they're doing their job, yes, but they also get treated like trash a good portion of the day. There's a lot of entitled, nasty people out there, and you don't need to be adding on to that, okay? So yeah, that was Tales from Your Server. It is a great subreddit. It's a very popular subreddit. This is my first time checking it out, actually, and I just needed a chill video this week. I've just been in, like, pain, and, you know, I've been editing a ton lately, and a lot of the videos we've been doing just are less chill. So I just thought it would be nice to kick it back with a chill video. So were you ever a server? Did you ever do anything in the serving industry? Yeah. No, that makes sense. You're not talking. So yeah, that's where we're gonna cut it off for the night. There will be a playlist of other Reddit stories you can go check out down below, as well as the subreddit and the original posts if you want to go check those out for yourself. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you all here next time.